recorded incidences in the scripture where we hear that Jesus weeps tears of sadness. One is when he visits Martha and Mary when their brother Lazarus, his friend, has died. Jesus weeps with them in sorrow for the loss of their loved one. And today, in this account from the Gospel of St. Luke, as Jesus draws ever nearer to the cross on Calvary, he approaches Jerusalem, the destination of his journey throughout his ministry. And as he comes upon the vista of that great city, the city of David and Solomon and all of the ancestors upon whom the promise of the Messiah has been built, as he looks upon that city, we hear that he weeps over it, lamenting, "If this day you only knew what makes for peace, but is now hidden from your eyes." And he tells them they did not recognize the time of your visitation. All of the promises and predictions of Jesus do come about. Not long after his death, the Romans completely destroyed the city of Jerusalem. There was not one stone left upon another. The temple was reduced to rubble. And all of it, of course, is connected to their lack of faith in the one sent by God to redeem them and lead them into a new way of living, a new covenant. We have a radical contradiction between what we hear in the gospel and what we have been reading from the book of Maccabees all week. One day after another, the heroes of the time of revolt, when the Jewish people were being asked to violate the law, to do things that were forbidden and went against the law of God's nature. Many went the way in order to preserve their lives, but some we hear, Eleazar earlier this week, the high priest who refused to eat pork, a mother and her 7 sons, seeing all 7 of them put to death because they remained steadfast in their commitment to the covenant. And today, Mattathias and his sons finally have reached the point where they refuse to go along, and they turn over the altar of the pagans and leave the city, their home, everything behind them, and take to the desert, followed by a number of those who want to hold fast to the covenant. It's a choice that has to be made. Do we live in the way of Christ, or do we follow the world, which is so often in conflict to what we know and believe to be the Christian way of life? Are we committed to the covenant? Jesus talks about what makes for peace. You know, in Hebrew, that word shalom, which is translated in peace, means a lot more than just not having discord. Peace isn't just about having no conflict. Shalom, the word peace in the scriptures, means to be in complete and right relationship with God, with his law, to be completely in right relationship with others. That means we harbor no hard feelings. We haven't held on to grudges. We don't have our hearts filled with hate, with a desire for revenge, that we aren't able to forgive everyone, because if we can't, we will never know peace. It can't possibly live in our hearts, and if it doesn't live in us, it won't be experienced in the world. What makes for peace is to be in a right relationship with Jesus Christ. If we love him, we have to love others. We can't love Jesus. We can't claim to love him and follow him if there is anything in our heart that goes against charity, That should shake us up a bit because all of us are sinners. We have a long way to go. We need grace. We need to work on that relationship through prayer, going to confession, penance, acts of charity, working very, very hard to extend forgiveness to those people that we find it so hard to forgive. We need to be in a right relationship with God and His way of life if we want to know what makes for peace. That's the gift Jesus extends. Do we recognize the time of the visitation? Jesus is here. He is among us. Every day we receive Him in the Holy Eucharist. We take to heart, perhaps more deeply, the words of Mother Teresa that she said every single day at Mass to her sisters. You need to become what you eat, or don't bother eating it at all. If we're not going to become Jesus, then don't bother coming to communion. And if we want to become Jesus, we need to work at it. He gives us the grace. We need to struggle every day to overcome anything that goes against true, authentic love. It's the call of every Christian to be steadfast in our relationship with God, with the law, with one another, with the church. It's the only way we have to get to heaven.